Welcome in, everybody. Chicken Michanga here, Twitch streamer and TikToker, new to YouTube, and I'm bringing you guys a comparison video between a Canon Rebel T6 DSLR, the Logi Stream Cam, the Logitech C920, and the new Elgato face cam, which is what you're seeing here. On the next scene over, you'll see all four cams, and we're going to jump to that right away because I know everyone's not here for me. You want to see the cams. You might be here for this little girl up here in the corner, Talia. She's my co-streamer. You can catch us live on Twitch, but enough of that. Let's jump right into it. Okay, as you can see on this scene, I have all four cameras up and showing everything I'm doing at the exact same time. I figured that would help. The top left is the Canon Rebel T6 DSLR. I bought this for photography, but I used it for my stream cam for quite a number of months. It requires an extra piece of software and an adapter. It's optional, but in my opinion necessary, and we'll get into that in a minute. On the top right is the Logitech C920, which a lot of people are using. It was a standard for a long time. I've used it for Talia's cam for pretty much ever since I started using my DSLR, and then when I upgraded to the stream cam. You'll notice on the bottom right is the Logitech Stream Cam, or the Logistream Cam as they call it. That is my current cam that you've seen me use in the last few months. I've enjoyed it. I got it because it does have face tracking through the software, which works pretty well. It doesn't work as well as NVIDIA Broadcast's tracking, but it does do a pretty good job. And I say that because when I put my VR headset on, the Logistream Cam face tracking loses me, whereas NVIDIA Broadcast will still follow me around. And then, of course, over here on the bottom left is the Elgato face cam. Brand new hotness, came in today. I couldn't wait to do this video to show you guys the differences between all these. And so we can jump right into it here. So the Canon Rebel T6 manufacturers, of course, Canon. The resolution is where it gets tricky. It can do 1080/20. However, because of this specific camera, it has to go through the ESO web utility in order to scrub all the stuff off of the view screen, which is what it's actually capturing. And because of that, it caps it out at 720. It still looks really, really good for 720. It does put two black bars on the side, but of course you can crop those out in OBS, and that's what I've done in the past. It gives a pretty decent color. And as you can see, it does pretty well with the frames per second. It does not do autofocus. It's a manual focus. As a camera, it does autofocus, but as a webcam, it does not. So just be aware of that. The frames per second is 30. I'm unsure about the field of view. It seems a little less than some of the other ones you'll see here on the screen, but I don't know exactly what that is. Focus, of course, is manual. Now, for the software, it does need ESO web utility in order to function as a webcam. It gives it a little bit more of a square shape due to the resolution. It puts the black bars, but of course, like I said, you can crop those out in OBS. Also, the power adapter. So we all know DSLRs use batteries, and through batteries they're gonna die, especially if you're streaming for a long period of time. So you're gonna have to stop and change those out during stream. However, Amazon, which you'll see the links below for all the cameras, as well as this power adapter down below in the description. It's $19.99. It's on Amazon. You pull out your battery, you stick that in, you plug it into the wall. I haven't had any issue with it going on. You know, I've done anywhere from 12-hour streams and less and had no issues with the camera. Okay, so there is a delay in the DSLR when clicking on if it has not been active on the scene. So I tell everybody, your starting screen, your ending screen, your be right back screen, any screen that doesn't have a camera, still put that camera capture in there, but put it behind whatever it is you're showing. So if it's a be right back screen, put it behind it so no one will see that cam. But when you flip back to your game screen or your just chatting screen, the camera's already there and you don't have to wait a second for it to actually click back on. The shutter turns off whenever it's not in use. So that's the only big caveat and the little trick that I'll tell you guys. Again, the links are down below for both the DSLR that I use as well as that power adapter. If you don't have a T6, there's power adapters for a bunch of them. I'm not sure if this one covers other models, but just, you know, you can see that in the description when you power adapter. But if you do have a T6, I know that one works. It's the one I use. Now let's move over to the C920. C920 has been Talia's camera, my puppy cam, for months now. There's been I've had a few issues with it, with some resolution and some focusing, some of the autofocus stuff, but other than that, it's been a great cam. It was my first webcam for streaming and I used it for a long time. The resolution is 1080. The frames per second is 30 and the field of view is 78 degrees. It can be used with the Logi Capture software. However, I have found that they have reduced the functionality through that. So for a little while, you were able to do some of the face tracking and stuff, but when the Stream Cam came out, they took that functionality away from the C920 through the software. Again, it's been a great camera. I don't have a whole lot of qualms with it. It does lose focus on Talia, but I've never had it really lose focus on me. And as you'll see, if I put my hand up, it takes a little bit to actually autofocus in compared to the other ones. I also have a light right here in front too that kind of changes that up. So, but yeah, so the light's in front of this one a little bit closer, but yeah, you guys can see and make your own judgments based on some of these. It does run for $69.99. It was a lot more when it first came out, but of course there's other webcams that have come out, so they've dropped the price. That link is also below in the description. Then the camera I've been using the most, which is on the bottom right, the Logi Stream Cam. It does 1080, full glass lens. It does do 60 FPS, but my experience, no matter what port I put it in, and maybe there's an issue with mine, it doesn't register a 3.0 port. It says it needs a 3.0 port to run at 60 frames, so mine's been capped at 30 frames per second. It has a field of view of 67.5 degrees. Not bad. It does have a built-in microphone. Of course, if you're streaming, you never use the built-in microphones. And it does function very well with the Logi Capture software to set everything up. So you set everything up in Logi Capture software, and then of course you just grab just the webcam from OBS when you set that up. Again, it's been a great cam. I'm still going to use it. It's probably going to be Talia's cam coming up, because personally, we'll get into my favorite cam out of these four so far, and it's no surprise that it's the brand new hotness that has come out. But this cam's probably going to be shot over to Talia's, and I'll probably use the C920 as my VR cam. I've been using my DSLR for my VR cam, running it through NVIDIA Broadcast. However, I want to get back into photography, and it's just a real pain to unhook my DSLR all the time. So that's the main reason I decided to buy another webcam. As you guys know, I have 1,000 webcams on my stream. I also have a fitness cam. That's not featured on here because it's a cheap knockoff, $30, supposedly 1080, but it's a plastic lens, so it doesn't do it. That's what we do when we have to do exercises on stream. We use that one. It's not a great cam, but it's good enough for a fitness cam. That one's not featured. Again, it's just a cheap knockoff that I found on Amazon and bought because I didn't think that it would need a whole lot. And it used to be Talia's first webcam. When I first started streaming, I had the C920, and then I used this off-brand for Talia's cam. But now it's my fitness cam. The Logi Stream Cam does run $169. There's a link below for that as well. And then down here in the, I can point. Then down in the bottom left is the Elgato face cam, the brand new hotness. It's run. It doesn't matter what port I've put it in. It registers 60 frames per second at 1080, and that's amazing. You can drop it down to 30 if you need to. It'll also do 720 at 60, 720 at 30, 540 at 60, and 540 at 30. It has a huge field of view, and I have it narrowed down so it looks more similar to all these, because all these I wanted it to kind of be in the same frame, but through the software, that field of view is huge. Like it's you can see my whole room almost, but of course you can zoom it in and change that. There's contrast, exposure. They did a really good job with the camera hub. There's some different features that you can't do on the Logi Capture that you can do on the camera hub, and vice versa. So a good example is the face tracking. So the Logicam or the Logi Capture has face tracking, whereas the camera hub on Elgato does not. Now, if they're going to add that, that would be fantastic. I know a lot of people that would want to use that. The focus is auto as well. It does a pretty good job of autofocusing. Mainly, it's probably because my light's really bright right there. I have a light right in between the two cameras. The other thing I like is every other camera, no matter what I do, other than the DSLR does a pretty good job. I am not pale. I have played with all the saturations and everything on all of them, and for the C920 and the Logi Stream Cam, this is the best I can get without everything getting, super saturated. And the Elgato face cam and the DSLR they do a great job of actually showing my actual skin tone, because I do go outside, believe it or not. It does happen. With the camera hub with Elgato, I'm just grabbing the face cam itself. However, through the app, I'm still able to control everything. They have a noise reduction as well, but I'm not using that. I decided to do everything manually. That's the way I've done all my camera stuff, is 100% manually. I don't have the only thing I have is the white balance on automatic. But the exposure, all that I've played with. You can change the shutter speed, which will allow you to get more light in, which is nice if you're in a really dark room. It also has an ability to kind of center it. So here's a good example. So the exposure right now is center weighted. Well, that only works for when it's automatic. So if it's on automatic, you can center weight it or you can average it. So average it goes across, center weight does this. This is it on automatic. However, I prefer a little bit more manual. I feel like it allows me a little bit more control. You don't get stuttering as much in the background or around the screen or any flickering because you're able to change that shutter speed and the ISO. But the big thing I really like about this is for other videos that I may do, this field of view being huge is a big winner. We have a green screen, we do TikToks, and we do a lot of cosplay stuff. So being able to actually pull out and see the whole room, I can put up my green screen. It'll cover the whole thing. I don't have to zoom in on anything. So I'm really looking forward to this cam and getting used in it. We're gonna be doing our first stream with it this weekend, which is about the time this video is coming out. The position will be a little bit different because I had to put them all up on my monitor so they all kind of get the same positioning. But yeah, this is what they all look like. You can make a decision based on price or what your needs are. Facecam is $199, available from Elgato Direct. Their link is down below. But as you can see, these are what they all look like. Do I have the most ideal settings for all of them? Probably not. I'm not a video tinkerer or an audio tinkerer, but I do video editing and I do graphics. But this is just from my little bit of expertise. I know I had 4 webcams. I know a lot of people are looking to see what the Facecam looks like versus some of the other ones, and I just happen to have the top 2 Logitech cams and a DSLR, which a lot of people are using. So if anybody wants to upgrade to the Facecam, I want to be able for them to see what I was able to do with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully seeing those cameras all side by side was helpful in your decision-making process. If you have any other questions, please let me know down below. If I don't know the answer, I will help you find it. Again, if you like the video, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. We're going to be rolling out a lot more content on this channel. We're just jumping into YouTube. We've been hitting Twitch really hard, as well as some of the other social media platforms. YouTube is very new to us, and we hope to see the same growth that we've seen on other platforms with giving you guys the content that you guys want. So let us know down below. Again, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully this was helpful. Until next time, love, peace, and chicken grease.